The thing with my dad was he had a strip club a long time ago in the 80s. He knew the nightlife shit. So he was like, no, don't be a DJ. You're gonna do drugs. I'm like, no, I just like the music. Yeah. You know what I mean?
All we're gonna say is you just back from EDC Mexico.
Yeah. When we were listening to demos, every time there's like a you know, we're like, this shit sucks, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. And we're like, no, fuck this, dude. No more build-ups, bro. Like being an Indonesian, especially growing up, like, you know about the whole like genocide in 95? Oh, 98.
No.
So in 98, there was like riots where, because we had a dictator until 1998. And for some reason, a lot of the stuff was pinned against Chinese Indonesians. So like to people like me. So when I was 3 years old, there was a genocide. Where,
damn.
Like, yeah, a lot of Indonesian Chinese people are getting killed, bro. Like, we had to stay, like me and my family stayed in the apartment. We had like our helper, like our house helper. She would go out and buy us, like we'll give her money so she can buy us food, because if we went out, we would have been killed. There's like a building in North Jakarta where women and children were like raped, brought to the top floor and told to jump off.
What the fuck?
And that was like the 98 riot. Indonesia likes to hide this shit. Like they don't really talk about it. But I feel like it's that
part of history.
Happened. Yeah, it's history. So like, growing up in that situation where a lot of like the real Indonesians didn't actually like me, or my generation, not really, but like there's still a lot of racism against like Chinese Indonesians. So growing up with that, knowing that you're like you're a constant target, you know, like knowing that like people will assume that you have money and like you're like the first fucking person to get robbed. It's like you become hyper aware of your situation and you just become like a lot more street smart. You know what I mean? Like you see like a person and you're instantly like, all right, that's someone I cannot trust. So like you just become like this, I don't know, man, street smart.
You can read people better.
Exactly, you can read people better and like know what's up.
It's so funny that even in Singapore, Singaporeans also think that, hey, you're from Indonesia and you came to Singapore and stay and you're a Chinese guy, you must be rich.
Yeah, exactly,
bro. Stereotype.
Dude, but there's a lot of poor Chinese like Indonesians, you know what I mean? Like obviously there's rich people, but there's rich people of every race. Like the Chinese Indonesians, there's a lot of poor ones as well.
Yeah, the rich is always the 1%, you know.
Exactly, right?
Irregardless of race.
Yeah.
And I recently also saw a video talking about money as well. It's just some random finance video, right? Saying that making music is for the poor. Only the top 1% make it big. The reason is because, right, you are not paid proportionately to your skill level. So what are your thoughts on that?
Making music is for
the poor. That means like when you make music, right, as a profession, right, you cannot hope to possibly earn enough money as compared to like a regular 9-to-5 person.
I mean, definitely you can get mega fucking rich, obviously.
But that's like top 1%.
Top 1%.
David Guetta type.
Yeah, but that's all luck, right? It's like hard work and luck. Being in the right place, right time. But also, I don't know, like we were talking about this earlier, like rich people don't make trends. They gentrify, or they fucking, what's it called, man? They take trends and then they turn it into what commercial, right? But like all trends come from like the poor people, or like I wouldn't say. That's like, I hate saying the word.
Like maybe people in the weeds, people in a particular scenario, and then they are inspired by that scenario.
Yeah, but also you have to always see it like hip hop came from the ghettos. House music, it wasn't really like a rich person thing. Now it is, you know. Now it is like tech house is like fucking all like these fancy motherfuckers at beaches and shit. But like it all came from like the roots. Like it all came from people with not that much money. And like rock music, blues, like it was reggae. It's all like, you know. Well, first of all, it's all black people music, right? They kind of invented our modern music. We have to thank them for everything.
That's true.
House music, electronic music. There was Kraftwerk. There was like the Chicago
early days.
Yeah, Daft Punk early days. But like if you want to go back to the roots of like house music, then it'd be like Chicago, like black gay guys in a club, and like so the rich people came later when it started taking off. and then the rich people, they're like, oh, we can make money off
Like
this.
buy your business kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and then they take it, and then it became like a thing. But if you really think about it, if you want to create true art, right, you shouldn't be aiming like, oh, I want to please the rich, because they just come along and do whatever. But like the majority of the world, we're not rich, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, 99% of the world, we're all kind of on the same level, and then you got like this 1% that's just like fucking off the chains. But yeah, if you want to start trends, man, don't look at what the rich people are doing, because they don't make trends. You just have to be like yourself, do what you want to do, and just cater for the people around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your immediate social circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Like if you look at some Bob Marley historical videos or any interviews from Mix Mac or resident advisor, they always say this one thing: music or creativity or trends are all born out of struggles.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why sad song do so well. That's why you see Taylor Swift is number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, okay, talking about sad songs, this is just a fun fact, kind of going off topic.
Yeah.
When there is more happy songs in the world getting created, that means the world is in a bad situation.
Yes.
When the world has no problems, a lot more sad songs come out. And I've always been boggled by that. I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense, because during COVID, I was making a lot more happy hardcore. And COVID, I was depressed, dude. I was depressed. I was like, bro, my life is over. You know what I mean? But
I heard you picking up girls on Animal Crossing.
yeah. Lit. But yeah, like, but like,
how is that even possible, man?
possible, dude. Twitter. But like, during that depressing time, I was making happy hardcore.
Yep.
And then during now, when I'm like a lot happier, I'm making very dark music. So it's like the opposite, bro. I don't know what's going on.
I think maybe you have the capacity to vary your style. But
Maybe.
when you're upset, you just want to like get out of it.
Yeah, I guess so. When you're upset, you want to cheer yourself up, so instantly you're making more happier art. I guess that makes sense.
This makes sense, right? But there's another school of thought where they are saying that, I think it's from Digital DJ Tips or something like that. They are saying that, okay, in economic downturn, then the music starts to be faster, the BPM start to rise, the trends, and then when everybody is balling, then the music becomes slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I guess now maybe that's why hip hop is for the rich then.
Maybe, dude.
Maybe, man.
I mean, but then real like, I'm not saying real or fake hip hop, but like
hip hop versus rap.
yeah, like if you listen to like, you don't really see rich people listening to like the underground stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually very few.
Yeah, like they're all listening to Kendrick Lamar and shit like that.
Yeah,
And it's
not
like
the SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah, and they don't listen to SoundCloud rappers who have their struggles and shit. They're listening to like fucking Drake talking about throwing cash all over the place because they can relate to it.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
But that's another thing. Like, I mean, my background is really weird because like I did come from a privileged family in Indonesia. Not super privileged, but like we had good, you know.
Right.
And then, but then I've always kind of grew up as like a punk kid. Like I listened to punk music, and then when I went to America, I was like, you know, just living life as like an average fucking person. So I can't relate to like all the music that's like I'm ballin', blah blah blah. Like I can't relate to it at all. It's weird because I grew up with that,
Right.
but I can't relate to it.
You don't subscribe to that lifestyle.
I don't subscribe to that lifestyle, you know what I mean? I just live like, you know, like a punk, bro.
Yeah, and I guess you being from a privileged family, so you have a lot of friends that are not as privileged. So that means like the majority of your friends are like more middle income. I would just assume statistically.
When I was growing up in high school, no. Because like everyone from my high school was kind of just that, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was living in a bubble. But also in the same time, I was so rebellious. I was going to like all like the fucking metal shows and all that stuff. So I kind of was exposed to that kind of underground kind of thing. When I left college, or in college, I was like an international student in Seattle. But I did not want to hang out with other international students because I felt like that kind of hindered me from experiencing real life. So I hung out with like a bunch of like ravers. When I say ravers, it's not like ravers who go to festivals. I mean like illegal raves. So like I was hanging out with ravers. I was hanging out with like people. I don't want to get into this because sounds fucked. Like, yeah, I was hanging out with people that I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with.
Right. College days.
Yeah, college days. I was mostly hanging out with people that's just kind of living the average American life, just so I can like experience what that was like, so I could get out of my stupid bubble, and then.
But I think it's very interesting that you know that you're in a bubble in the first place.
Yeah.
Most people that are born in that particular
They
scenario,
don't know.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do you like came to a realization that, oh damn, I'm like in a matrix, you know? That's crazy, right? If you think about it.
Well, I think I realized. I don't know, man. I just realized, bro. Just one. When I think it was like 7th grade or some shit. I was like, I think it's because I had online friends. That's probably why. Because I had like a lot of online friends from like just chat rooms and shit, and then I would ask them about their lives, and then I'd be like, yeah, dude, like, you know, I have, you know, growing up, I had like a chauffeur, a maid, all that shit, which is common in Indonesia. For if you had money, you would have that.
Yeah.
But then I also like started talking to my friends from England, and they're like, dude, that's not common. That's like not normal at all. You know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, my parents are struggling. So I kind of like tried to put myself in their situation, and eventually, I think what I truly got out of the bubble when I was in America, and I told my parents like, hey, I wanna, you know, I'm going to school here, but don't give me too much money, dude. Like, I don't want to be like a spoiled brat, you know. Like, I was living in my dorm, and then I would get like $1,000 a month, which was quite a lot, but then it was not as much as like all these like, you know, like super rich kids. They're like getting like 10K a month or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing that, and then eventually shit happened in the dorm. I got kicked out. I was homeless for like 2 weeks, so I was living in a tent. Like, yeah, I was legit living in a tent.
Not even like couch surfing.
Nah, dude, because like all my friends lived in the dorm. I did something in the dorm that got me kicked out.
Okay.
So I got kicked out. I had no friends outside of the dorm, and then I was homeless. So I got a tent with the rest of the money I had. I slept in this park with a bunch of like crust punk kids. Like, crust punks are like these kids. They're punks, and a lot of them, they travel on trains illegally and shit. But there was this group of crust punks in the park near my college, and I usually talk to them, and I just camped out with them for like 2 weeks until I can move into an apartment. So I roughed it out, dude. Like, I slept on the ground, I slept in a tent, I showered in the school's gym, I went to class, I did my homework in the library, and I went to sleep in the fucking tent again. You know,
you need to set up, tear down, or just keep it there.
No, you have to take it down.
Oh damn! Every single day you must build your
you have
house.
to take it down, and then like a lot of my shit, I just left with them. And they're like trustworthy, right?
Wow.
Because they don't want your stuff. They're just living life. So like, I'm just like, dude, can you like look after my stuff while I go to college? And they'll be like, yeah, sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like, so I did that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting some exclusive here, man. No other interview you really talk about.
So
this.
like, that's like my life, and that's how I turned the way I turned out. You know what I mean? Just living the fucking weird ass shit.
In another interview that you did with Earth Movers, I don't know if you recall.
Yeah.
You said that many people doubt you when you're on your way to do something ambitious or creative or something that people cannot see, because technically, if you want to be a success or do creative work, you have to somehow envision a future that don't exist, and not maybe many people can do that. So how do you deal with it, right? Especially if some of those people that don't believe in you, right, are your family members or your loved one. It will hurt even more, right?
I mean, obviously my dad is like, well, my family at first, they were like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? When I was in a band, so I talk about this a lot. Before I was a DJ, I was in a band. Like, I was in a metal band. But like, obviously when I was 14 and like 14, 15, I told my dad, after being in a band, I quit the band. I was like, I want to make electronic music. And the thing with my dad was, he had like a strip club in Jakarta long time ago in the 80s, one of the first ones. And then he knew the nightlife shit. So he was like, no, don't be a DJ. You're gonna do drugs. You're gonna do this. I'm like, no, I just like the music. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna get into that detail. But like, yeah, like he was like, no, you're gonna
All we're gonna
drugs.
say is you're just back from EDC Mexico.
Yeah. So he didn't agree with me at first. I mean, he still doesn't agree with me technically.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like, if you listen to everyone around you with every opinion they have,
Well, you'll go crazy.
you'll go crazy, dude. Like the best way to like live life is just like, I want to do my own thing. If you don't believe in me, then you can suck my dick.
Turn on your X filter for 20% ignorance.
Exactly. Like a lot of people were like, I remember when I was just restarting in Indonesia, right? When I came back from college, because in college I was DJing as well for like parties and stuff, and like it was more accepted. Music was more accepted over there. And then when I came back to Indonesia, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and then people are like, "No, you're not gonna make it big if you don't follow what the crowd wants. Like you have to be like a complete NPC to make it big."
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
And
for a lot of people that don't really know the term NPC is a Gen Z term, right? So maybe you can explain.
Okay, NPC is like you have no fucking personality, dude.
It's like non-playable character.
Yeah, you're just like one of those people in a video games where you're just programmed to do what the fuck you want to do.
Cookie cutter artist.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of DJs in Indonesia, like they were like telling me like, you won't make it big with this, you won't make it big with that. But how I saw them, I was like, you guys have no personality, you guys have no brand. You're not gonna get anywhere. You don't fight for anything. You don't stand for anything.
Yeah.
Like all you play is the same shit as everyone plays. So what makes you special? Nothing. You know what I mean?
Damn, you have the same problem in Indonesia as in us in Singapore. It's the same, dude.
It's the same, dude. Like I think it's everywhere in the world.
And with the emergence of AI, and AI is able to do everything that you can do. The only thing that differentiates us from AI is our personality and our branding.
Bro, music is all about feeling, right? If you don't have feeling in your music, doesn't matter how good you're of a producer or how mainstream you're trying to make your songs. If there is no feeling, it's not a good song. You know what I mean? You can be the most terrible producer in the world, but your music has so much feeling that it's a good track. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, especially nowadays when there's so much noise, right? So much music is being put out. In order to stay competitive, you also have to put out a lot of music quite regularly. So like 2-3 podcasts ago, I have one of my friend Jace Pua. He's like basically like the Singapore version of Mr. Beast. All his videos is like 100 million views or whatever on his Instagram, and he's basically saying that now it is the era of the good enough content. As long as it's good enough, just put it out there. You don't really need to be too polished. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. No, I don't agree with that. Because especially in electronic music. Okay, actually electronic music is not about perfection. That's what people like.
It's like dubstep.
Yeah. It's like the problem is when you try to go for perfection, you go with a template.
Oh, yeah.
And when you do something with a template, it becomes soulless.
Yeah.
Like the best electronic music was like the shit that just flows. So I'm making an album right now, and like I literally kind of, like for a while it was implanted in my mind that all tracks have to be break, build up, drop. Break, build up, drop, second break, build up, second drop, end. Right? I kind of strayed away from that. I've been listening to a lot of like early hardcore, Thunderdome, like 95, 96 stuff. And then I was listening to the music and I'm like, there is no format to this music. Like there is no like structure in a way, right? But when you listen to it, you get this feeling. So I just started making music like that. Like my new tracks that I made, there is no build-ups. It just goes like the melody and then like boom, 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 just goes in. And then I feel like that's the like when I was making that track, I felt it. And I was like, okay, fuck the structure, dude. So
actually for now, if you think about it, a lot of like techno, not referring to
techno
like
doesn't have structure either.
It's like melody, suddenly boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best, man. Like you don't really need that. Actually, now when I listen to too many songs, like I was a judge in this Indonesian like EDM competition last year.
Yeah. With another guy, right?
It was Winky Wiriawan. He was like an old school legend, dude. But when we were listening to demos, every time there's like a you know, we're like, this shit sucks, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're like, no, fuck this, dude. No more build-ups, bro. The whole build-up thing is cool if you do it sometimes, but if all your songs sound like that, okay, there's also hardstyle songs where I'm gonna talk about hardstyle specifically about this because that's like where I kind of like my scene. But whenever I hear someone release, okay, like you'll have one song where it's like break, epic leads, drop, right? I'm like, cool. And then if they release another song and it's the exact same format, I'm like, dude, stop. Like, try to do something different, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like lazy copy paste.
Yeah, exactly.
I think one of the more acceptable styles of build up, at least for myself, right, is like the Z or the John Summit kind, where they actually sing the riff. So it's like
it's a pre-chorus.
Yeah.
It's not a build-up, it's a pre-chorus.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of EDM people like forget. That it's a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is like a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge. Like you have to do all that shit. But because it became so formatted where it's like
you loop a word and then tighten the loop and add a
exactly, man.
Man.
It's not creative. It can be creative.
Yeah, these are like the nuances that people know, but they don't really know how to say it. You know, they
exactly.
feel it, the cringe.
Yeah, it's cringy. Yeah. But sometimes embrace the cringe. So it's kind of do what. Yeah. Dude, the moral of the story here is do whatever the fuck you want. My opinion doesn't really fucking matter. You know what I mean? My opinion doesn't matter. If you feel it, you feel it. If I don't feel it, well, that's fucking my problem, not yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, precisely.
So, yeah.
With so much music going out every single second, right?
Yeah.
You really have to be yourself in order to stand out.
Exactly.
Yeah, if not, you're just gonna be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's go on to the next topic. How did you end up in Barong Family? That's huge, man.
Yeah, man. I just
I know from some of your interviews that you managed to you when you got into the Barong Family poster or magazine or something like that, you weren't even told that you were there, and then your friend was like telling you.
Yeah. So like it was the short story is I was producing for Rich Brian, and then Yellow Claw found out about me through there. And then we met in Jakarta, and then they're just like, come in Barong Family. And then
what?
Yeah, and I was like, all right. I sent demos. I didn't get a reply for like 6 months.
Okay.
And then
Jim, right?
Yeah, Jim. Like he didn't reply. And then or it was like the label manager Vivian at the time.
Right.
But I didn't get a response, and then suddenly in like December or some shit, Jim messaged me or emailed me, hey, come to our studio camp in Shanghai. I was like, what?
Wait, so you buy your own tickets there?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they bought my ticket there. I bought my ticket back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And then I went to the studio camp. We did our thing, and then I was just like, oh, I have a weird feeling that this was gonna be a one-off thing. Like I'm never gonna be fully in Barong Family, right?
Yep.
And then suddenly ADE, that album came out, and then my EP finally came out, and I'm like, okay, shit's getting real. And then during ADE, they had the Barong Family magazine, and then like they in the magazine there was my name, and I didn't like know about it until someone pointed it out. So I was like, whoa. Cool. And then now I'm the label manager, dude.
Of Barong Family?
Yeah, so I went from like fucking artist. It was weird. I was an artist, then I made memes for them. Then I became the social media manager as well as an artist, and then I became the A&R, and then I became the label manager, and now I kind of run the whole thing with Jim and Nils.
Damn.
This is weird, man. The progression is just like, what the fuck happened? It just happened, you know what I mean?
But you opened something like within Indonesia itself, right?
Yeah.
Yourself and Yellow Claw and another partner or something like that. Is there like a... Or did I read somewhere? Did I read it wrongly? It's like a separate thing from Barong Family. Maybe it's like to support like local Indonesian talents or something like that.
No, that's Barong Family.
Or it's like maybe it's like a subdivision or something like that.
No, it's just a lot of the crew that works for Barong Family is now Indonesia. Ever since I became like label manager, we have 3 art team people.
Yep.
In Indonesia, we have one guy from Spain.
Right.
We have the one of like the guy who does like the merchandise. He's Indonesian. And then the guy who does like all the playlisting and like marketing stuff. He's Indonesian. The only Dutch person left is like our legal team, and then maybe like the accounting team. And like
So, what are some of the processes that when you step up as label manager, what are like some of the practices that you see that you could like improve, and then what are some things that you make changes?
You know what's fucked up? When I got into like becoming label manager, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, because the previous label manager left. And then I kind of knew how to label manage a little bit because I was doing it in Indonesia a little bit for the label I was running. And then Jim and Nils wanted to shut down Barong Family for like 6 months.
Oh,
to find a new label manager. And then I told them like, yo, if you shut this down for 6 months, it's never gonna start up again.
Yeah, dude,
that's just how it is.
It was hot, man.
Yeah, it's like if you shut it down, it's over, you know? So I'm like, let me label manage. Let me talk to the previous manager. He shows me like a little bit, like, here's how you upload the tracks on the DSP.
This is like Vivian Donders or something like that.
After her, there was another person.
Oh, there's another.
Vivian was the like early one.
Vivian went to work for DJ Snake or something like that, right? Yeah, that's crazy.
But
dude.
there was a guy, Tice.
Yeah, right.
So he taught me the basics. After that, I figured out everything myself, man. There's still stuff I was still figuring out, like early January this year, or I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be doing this. I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that. Yeah. So I'm still figuring stuff out. It's been like 3 years, but there's always something that pops up. I'm always learning. I'm trying to figure out like which direction we want to take Barong Family and like all that stuff. So yeah.
I think I kind of understand why Jim and Nils have that thought in their head. Like even though they know you and they know that you don't know anything about label manager, but I think it's because they can get along with you and you have the willingness to learn, and that's enough, you know.
Yeah.
Don't have to be an expert.
If you're willing to learn, you'll become an expert eventually, right? You know what I mean? Like I fucked up here and there, of course. Everyone fucks up,
but they give you like space to grow.
Yeah. They teach me. You know what I mean? They'll be honest. They'll be like, dude, Ricky, you fucked up,
dude. They're savage, man.
Yeah, and then they'll tell me like where I fuck up and how I can improve. So, yeah.
So how is it possible to juggle so many things? Like just this few days, EDC Mexico, flying back to Indo to put your stuff, then coming to Singapore, play a gig, now a podcast, then another gig within Singapore.
Oh man, how do I
label manager at the same time? Then your boss is calling you.
Oh yeah,
Yellow Claw, you're like, hey, yo, where's my stuff, man?
Yeah, no, they do that. Like, so I do a little bit of the financing. So like sometimes when money comes out of the label or we have to pay something, I'm the one who inputs that into the system.
Right.
And then
low-key accountant.
Yeah, like low-key accounting. I do that shit, and requests comes in like every couple hours where like the guys would be like, hey, we need to pay this right now. I'm like, and I'm like, I'm at a show, dude. You know what I mean? Like, but juggling is hard, but also not hard because like I like working. When I don't work, I feel depressed.
Oh my god, same as me.
Yeah, so
I think that's a bad way to cope it, but you know, that's the only way, man.
Yeah, like I just like, you know, I set aside time to make music. I set aside time to work on Barong stuff. Yeah, and I don't know, just do what you need to do, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. But so working as a label manager, label manager, right? That's like maybe like a monthly salary type of thing, and then you're touring. You know, so I guess it's like kind of like bring some stability within your life.
Yeah, that's the best part. Like, so I can do. That's why. When you listen to my music, I'm not trying to reach the mainstream market.
You can be free.
Because like I have money, you know, I have a job within the industry as well where I'm making enough money for me to live every month and travel and shit. Yeah. And like I can just make whatever music I want, you know. Music doesn't become my main money maker, but instead it becomes like more of a passion thing. You know, like when you make music your main money maker, you end up thinking like, how do I make more money from the music?
Right.
But for me, I'm like, okay, I need to make money from the music because obviously my manager needs to make money and my booking agent needs to make money.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, I'm like, I'm making music that I want to make, and I only make music that I want to make. You know? So yeah.
Yeah, my next question was supposed to be tell us a little bit more about the economics of producing music, but I guess you kind of like sum it up because 2 interviews ago, or was it 2 interviews ago, I was speaking to Mark Lim from Ultra Music Festival.
Yeah.
And then he says that producing music, because obviously with Spotify now being so stingy in a way, you know, so the monetization is reduced significantly, right? So earning money through music has never been more difficult, right?
That's not true.
Just by the music itself.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah, for sure. Okay.
Monetizing plays like
royalties.
Royalties.
Yeah, royalties suck ass, dude.
Unless you get syndication.
Yeah, unless you get like 1 million or 2 million plays, you're not making shit. You know what I mean?
Million plays, maybe it's like $3,000, only $3 per thousand or something like that. Right?
Depends like where your play is getting from. If
on average, $3 to $5 per thousand views.
Yeah, maybe? Like if you're getting plays from South Korea, dude, you're making a lot of money.
Oh damn.
Yeah, like South Korea is one of like the top.
CPMs.
If you're getting streams from Indonesia,
right.
Making nothing
because the ad dollars to reach the audience.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he said that you don't really need to. Mark basically saying you don't really need to make a lot of money from the royalties or from the plays. The music, right, is to show that you are a capable artist, and then we can finally book you. You know that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's when you monetize from the show. But it's still quite mind-boggling to see how someone like Taylor Swift become a billionaire just from music and no brand deals.
Yeah. So, but Taylor Swift is like, dude, the amount of plays she gets.
Yeah, dude.
And like how many fucking songs she has. You know what I mean? So yeah, like if you're a pop star, it's totally viable in a way. But if you're a DJ, it's also viable. Like it depends. Like if you're getting a lot of plays, like if you're DJ Snake, you know what I mean?
Yeah, DJ Snake. Yeah.
But if you're like playing shows is your number one money maker. But also like if you're a good producer, you can ghost produce and shit. Like,
that's true. That's true.
Like recently, I had a ghost producing job.
Oh damn! Hey. Yeah. Wow. Not many people would dare to say, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like I ghost produce sometimes.
Yeah. But you just cannot reveal for who.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can say that.
This one is a funny one because like it was a ghost producing job, and he already paid me half. So like, I can disclose how much money I was supposed to make. But like that one track was 1,500 for one track, right? And then
So they pay you $750.
They paid me $750, and I was working on it. Then I got really lazy, and I just messaged the person like, "I'm returning your money, dude. I'm lazy."
What the fuck?
I was like, "I'm not doing this shit right now."
What the hell?
I was just like, "I'm not feeling it, man." Like you know, like I was just like, "Cool. It's cool to ghost produce, and it's fun. But sometimes, like right now, I'm in like album making mode. So I don't want to be making something that's not me." So
channeling away your creativity.
Yeah, exactly. So I was working on it, and I was like, he wanted like a mainstream hardstyle track, and right now I'm making a lot of early hardcore. So I was making it, and then I started having ideas for my other track, and then I was like, I don't think I should be working on ghost production right now, so I canceled it. Just randomly messaged him, returned his money, and I'm like, better luck next time.
Catch you at a better time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's true. And oh shit, what was I thinking about just now? Yeah, so touring definitely is like an important piece of the financial thing lah. But the fact that you have like a full-time job, it really frees you up. You can be more creative, and then you can finally say no, so you will not be trapped.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for the payment wise, it's also like quite sketchy, right? Especially in like entertainment industry. How do you like kind of like lock the deals in, or you have like a manager that
I have an agency.
An agency.
Yeah, I mean like these 2 shows in Singapore, it went through my agency, and then they just handled it, and like I just make sure that I get the money before I play, and like if I don't get the money before I play, I just don't play. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like I have an agency. You definitely need an agency, or you need contracts at least if you're doing everything yourself. Yeah, money hasn't been sketchy for me, except when early in my career, like I had an agent. This was before I went to Super Modified. It was like this guy, Indonesian dude, and he was marking my shit up so high, bro. Like, there was this one show that my own friend booked me, and then the guy told me that my fee was 5 million rupiah, which is like 450 Singapore dollars, something like that.
450.
450 Singapore dollars.
Okay.
And then that's my agent. He told me that. And then I went to my friend. I'm like, yo, how much is my agent charging you? And he said double of what my agent's telling me. So he's stealing from me. This was before Super Modified. It's like, after I went into Super Modified, it's all professional, dude. Like, I've never been scammed. I've never been, like, Super Modified takes care of me so well. But just be careful of, like, these characters, like, who are just there. They're like, let me be your agent, bro. They've never become an agent, and they're like, they're just stealing money from me. It happens a lot. It's just, yeah, that can be sketchy. That's why I always go into like a proper agency and shit.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, but especially if you're like a smaller act, and then the club is like, I cannot pay you upfront. I can only pay you at the end of the month, like our accounting cycle.
Yeah,
then that's like very difficult.
I would never do that, bro. If like a club told me, I'll pay you in the end of the month after I'll be like, how about I play in the end of the month then, dude? I'm not gonna play a show until I get paid. You know what I mean? It's just safety.
Yeah.
Like, I've been scammed before. Also early, dude, like 2014, there was a club. It's closed now, but it was called, fuck, what it's called, Foundry in Jakarta. I played a show with my friend, and until this day, I've not gotten paid. So like, yeah, they stole the money. So fuck it.
Well,
yeah,
all of us, as if you're in the industry long enough, you'll definitely face one or two of this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any associations with DWP? Do they book you often?
No, dude. I get booked when Barong gets booked.
Oh.
Yeah. DWP books a lot of the people that they manage. So actually, Ismaya has a DJ management called Inspired, and if you check out the local lineup of DWP, it's mostly them. I mean, no issues with that. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? You manage these artists. Of course, you want to push them and get them big. So,
Right. I thought it's very like support local kind of thing, but it's more like,
not really.
support,
it's a business, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what people like misunderstand. I get that everyone wants to be like, support the locals, right? But when you're a big company like them, like DWP,
the financials make the lot.
Yeah, it's like, of course you're gonna look out for what makes you most money, right? And like, you have your artists that you want to push. Of course you're gonna push them compared to like me or Blue Claire or Otoro or Papa Khan, who is not really associated with them. It's just, I get it. No complaints. I used to complain about it when I was younger. I used to be like, oh my god, why aren't they booking us? And then now I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. Once you are in that position, right, you kind of...
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, it's okay. Like, you do your thing, and then we'll do our thing. Like, obviously, like, Blue Claire is getting big, without any real local support.
Yeah.
Otoro is getting really big. He's touring the US right now. Papa Khan, he's making his way back. I got my US agent now. I'm working on my O1. Just played EDC Mexico, so like, it doesn't really matter what the Indonesian people do for us.
Yeah.
We make our own way,
Yeah.
And then once we get big, and we'll help people out, like people who don't. That's like sort of one of my goals. Like when I was getting into the industry, no one really helped me out, like in Indonesia. So I had to find my own way, and then the person or the people who helped me out eventually was Yellow Claw, right? So I always wanted to become like Yellow Claw, where I could help people, like the young DJs, young producers, to come up and like get the connections. And that's just...
It's crazy that our own country people will not help us. Oftentimes we receive the assistance from
outside. Yeah.
And then when you make it big already, then your own country will be like, hey, Sikh from Indonesia.
So
wow,
cool, bro. Yeah, that's like the
Indonesia
first time.
born and bred.
Yeah, that's like the first time I played Tomorrowland. That was, dude, everyone was like, oh my god, sick.
Indo pride.
And I'm like, cool, but also, you guys didn't really fucking help me out that much, dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, just, like, I get it. And I want to be the difference. And me and my friends, definitely, we all want to be the people who kind of change that. We want to help everyone out. and stuff. Yeah.
Maybe we can talk a little bit about some of your major collaborations, like Bassgod with Ramen Girl. When I was on It's the Ship, then I saw Ramen Girl, and then I'm like, hey, it's with Sikh. What?
Yeah.
I was like totally not expecting that.
So Ramen Girl had a set as well.
Yeah.
In It's the Ship. So it was like the perfect timing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, I mean, Bassgod, that was an interesting one. Me and Julian Saboba is now named Triptych. He's like a hard techno DJ now,
Yeah.
like Shran's DJ. But like, yeah, like me and Julian, we were in Bangkok at the Barong studio, and then we were, or not Bangkok, Pattaya, and we were just like fucking around on FL Studio in the small studio. And we were just like, what happens if we made a drop with all percussions, right? We were just fucking around, dude, and making this stupid shit. Nils comes in, and he's like, we need to collab on this. And then me and Jian's like, bro, we weren't even actually making anything. We were just fucking around, you know? And then we went in the studio with Yellow Claw in Bangkok, finished it up, didn't come out for 2 years because pandemic. Right, we were like trying to shoot a music video, and then Ramen Girl hopped on the vocals, and then we eventually shot the music video, released it, and all that stuff.
With the Power Ranger music video.
Yeah, Power Ranger. Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
I felt very exposed. I've never worn something that tight. You know what I mean?
So you were in that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yes, must be super hot. And
Yeah,
and when I saw Ramen Girl on It's the Ship, and then she was like premiering this like bass track with you, I'm like, what the level of like cross genre, you know? Because,
yeah, exactly.
you know, hip hop always have that kind of like, you know, I don't fuck with anything. I'm credible. You
But
know?
Ramen's different. Ramen like fucks with everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's why.
And like she's cool. She's like very unique in that sense. Like a lot of hip hop artists have like this kind of vibe where they think they're way cooler than
Like
you.
Air or something.
Yeah. But Ramen doesn't have that. She like. She's just cool, dude. I don't know how to explain it. She's just a cool person.
Super down to earth.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw some of her videos. It's like sometimes I think she forget that she's famous. Yeah.
Yes, but that's the best part, right? When you forget that you're actually a celebrity, that's when you're like, dude,
holy shit,
you're a real person.
like
you know what I
Keanu
mean?
Reeves level, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Ramen's like. Yeah. Ramen's like the Keanu Reeves of female rappers in Indonesia.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Brian and Who That Be.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, when that song was out, I'm like super obsessed.
Yeah.
And I used to be a hip hop turntablist, but I decided to pursue.
Damn. So you're a real DJ. It's like, so you're an actual DJ. Like,
you can say that. And so I was like playing a lot of Brian's track, and Who That Be is definitely something at the top of my list. And I wasn't expecting you are the one that created that track. So you being like bass music, a bass god, right? How did it like? Do you have like additional challenge when it comes to that?
Making hip hop.
Yeah,
it was weird, dude. Okay, so like my history is, I was in a metal band and I started producing hardcore or like hard style. Because I found out about Masters of Hardcore from hardcore, not hardstyle. But like I found out about Masters of Hardcore from my Russian friend in school, and then I was like, all right, I don't have a band now. I have to make music somehow. So I started making hardcore from there. Went to America, made electro because that's what the clubs wanted me to make, and then went back to Indonesia, became progressive house because that's what my friends wanted me to make. And then I met Brian a week before that stick. He made the music video. I was in it. Fucking blew up. And then Brian.
Were you the guy like pouring the alcohol on the floor?
No, that's Brian. I was the guy with the gun.
Oh, okay.
But Brian went to Korea because he had another track at that time. He shot a music video. He didn't like it. He came back, and then he's like, "I don't like that music video. I don't like that track. What should we do?" He called up Sean from 88, Sean Miyashiro.
Yep.
And then he was like, "Okay, then you guys have to make a track within like a week."
Whoa.
And then me and Brian were like, fuck. And then, so me and Brian just sat down. We made this beat together, actually. We made it in like 10 minutes. And then the next day, we went over to the studio, recorded it. And in 3 days, we went to Tokyo to shot the music video.
What?
So that whole thing was just like, done. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was all like almost an accident. But that was the first track I ever made as Sikh. Before then, so there has to be like, I have to credit Brian for my existence in the same time. If I never made Who That Be, SIHK wouldn't have existed. I would have been my other name.
And the Barong Family opportunity wouldn't come.
Wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
So it all kind of stemmed out from him.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I thank him for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not super close friends with him anymore. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. But like, not every day, sorry, that's like over exaggeration. But like, every year when I'm just reflecting on my life, like
Origin story.
Yeah, it always comes up like, okay, I wouldn't be here without Brian. You know what I mean? He kind of helped me out with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. How we wish that in Singapore we have like a Rich Brian level that we can work with him and something will happen.
Yeah, but the thing with Rich Brian was also he didn't care about Indonesia at all in the beginning.
Target global.
He wasn't targeting anything.
Just did himself.
He just liked whatever he did. You know what I mean? That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. He just wanted to be him, and then he blew up, and then that's it.
And then 88 picked him up from there.
88 picked him up. Yeah.
Okay, so did you eventually get into 88?
Not really. I produced for Brian. I produced for NIKI. So I was
Yep.
So NIKI was like someone that me and Brian like kind of found on YouTube. Actually, it was Brian's brother's ex-girlfriend that showed me NIKI. Her name was Nicole Zefania on YouTube. She did like a lot of like acoustic music, and then I told Brian like, dude, I want to work with her. Can you DM her for me? And then she replied. I worked with her for like 4 months. Eventually, me and Brian and NIKI made See You Never. But to be honest, Nicole did like 90% of that because she's just a amazing composer.
She also has inputs on the production.
Bro, she does everything. She composed it. She wrote the lyrics. She sang it. And then me and Brian just came in because back then she didn't really know how to produce. So we came in and we kind of like helped out on the production side. But if you wanted to say who made that song, I would say like, yeah, it's kind of 100% Nicole. You know what I mean? But yeah, we worked with her. She got into 88. But that's the only thing I've done with 88. Like Brian, NIKI, and then I was already in Barong at that point. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think 88 is like doing pretty well now.
They have Knock 2 and ISO, bro. I was like,
The
what?
Toyota commercial or something, or Honda, I forget what is it.
Yeah. But they're doing good. I mean, they represent the Asians, right?
Yeah.
It's dope, man. Like, you don't really see that often.
Yeah. So, so like I said, I remember Anger Dimas from back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So right now there are like so many of you that are like already popping up globally. In Singapore, we only have 3, We have Mern, Inquisitive, and maybe Wukong. Yeah. And then for Indonesia, we got like maybe 5 or 6 of you.
Indonesia, we got, I can name all of them, I think.
Like Vishnu, yourself.
Wisnu, myself.
Otoro,
Blue Claire, Papa Khan. Gabber Modus Operandi. Anger Dimas. We used to have Mahesa Utara. Dude, there's a bunch that I don't even like know. But recently I've been finding more and more. Like there is a lot actually. And I don't know why Indonesian producers are just super fucking good at making shit like this. But I think it comes from the struggle as well, you know what I mean? We have so much struggle in our lives that we're kind of just like the creative juices just flow,
Yeah, I think you also can have the ability to take things easier. Like whenever something bad hits you, you'll be like, whatever.
Yeah, we make jokes out of everything. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. So any chance like you guys might collab? Like I don't know, maybe like a Sikh and Anger Dimas thing, or like a I don't know.
I think our styles are so different. Like maybe long ago could have been possible, like when I was
era.
Yeah, like when I was still doing more like bass music and stuff like that, it would have been possible because I collabed with. There was a Do You Like Bass remix? Where it was me, Blue Claire, Kamikaze, which is Otoro, and Gerald, who was part of Weird Genius.
Right.
So all 4 of us was on that remix.
Weird Genius is also Indonesian, right?
Oh yeah, there's Weird Genius. There you go. Yeah.
I think they are so big until like we don't even
end exactly. Yeah. So there's Weird Genius and there's like Gerald, but there's a lot, man. There's a lot of like big, like really cool producers from Indonesia. Just sometimes people don't think they're from Indonesia.
Oh, because they're already like
they're just
beyond
everywhere.
regional already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I see Weird Genius that there's this like, I think that maybe their group has like 400,000 followers or something, but
Yeah.
one of them is like a rapper,
It's
it's like 3 million or
No,
something.
so Reza,
Yeah.
he's not a rapper. He was like a YouTuber. He was like a gamer YouTuber. So he got big from like YouTube and stuff and Musically back then. So he got big from that, and I always call him like the guy who drives the group. So he's like the captain of the group. Now it's Roy, which is Brian's brother. He's like I think he controls the fashion part of the group because he's a very fashion.
Roy CDC.
Yeah, Roy CDC is a very fashion
So
driven.
now We Are
person.
Genius has 4.
No, 3.
3.
So it used to be Gerald, but Gerald now left and it's Roy.
Oh,
So it's like Roy, Reza, and Eka. Eka is the music guy, but he's the pop side of the music. Reza is like, I think, branding and creativity stuff,
Damn.
and like the guy who brings the crowd. And then Roy is like, now I think he runs the fashion part of it, and he also likes the underground. He's a very techno person. Roy is like the most techno motherfucker you'll ever meet. You know? So I think he influences Eka to make the tracks not super poppy. And then Reza comes in, from how I see it, when the track is kind of there, Reza comes in and he's like, hey, change this, change that. Because Reza knows what will pop off in Indonesia.
Right.
So he's like, change this, change that, change this. So we like he just directs it. He's like the captain. He's like the captain of
Executive producer or something like that.
Yeah. He doesn't get involved with writing the music itself, but I feel like he's like the guy who drives everything.
He's basically a Khaled. And everybody think that Khaled is not doing anything. Dude,
Dude,
Khaled
Khaled's
is
doing a lot.
fucking important,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Yeah.
Dude.
It's like I don't know. It's like, yeah, I guess Khaled's the best example.
Yeah. Anything he touches, right, it's just like gold.
Yeah, it'll be big. Yeah, same thing
yeah.
with Reza. Anything he touches gets big.
Yeah. And what are the future plans that you have? Like maybe like more touring or just like studio mode?
I'm gonna try finishing on my album, and then I'm gonna work on my O1 visa, and then hopefully I get to tour the US. I might like not focus on Asia as much for a bit, because I just really want to get into America. Like I just feel more, in a way, accepted over there. Like I was
genre.
Yeah, I was over there for 3 months, and I felt so at home, compared to being in Indonesia. But it's always been like that. Like I feel like culturally, I'm just more kind of like close to them.
Like maybe like westernized, really.
Yeah, I think it's because I like went to an international school, had a lot of like American friends, and just like culturally.
I guess so. People within our age group, like the Gen X people, we don't even speak our own mother tongue that much. Mainly, it's like English.
English, yeah. I mean, I didn't even speak Indonesian that well until I came back from America after high school. Because international schools, you know, like you don't speak the mother tongue at all.
Yeah.
So like I was speaking English the whole time. Came back to Indonesia, then I started learning Indonesian from Roy and my friend David. And like my Indonesian's gotten really good like ever since then. But sometimes when I speak Indonesian, I still like have to translate it from English. Yeah.
And then did NIKI eventually move on to write like an Indo song?
No,
right? So all English, right?
all English.
Yeah.
I think they just want to do English songs.
Right.
You don't have to force yourself to make Indonesian songs. You know what I mean?
There's a group called XG in 88 Rising. I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
K-pop.
No, they are like Japanese group they are trilingual, and then they will like do triple language in.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I'm not sure if that's something that you might want to explore. Maybe like
I mean, my music right now.
because you see, Blue Clay also has Indonesian Indo inside his music, right?
I don't know. My music right now is just I just make whatever. You know what I mean? I take samples, I loop it like it doesn't even matter what language it is. I just make hardcore. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like to associate a culture with it. Well, Gabber culture is its own culture, right? It's like it's from the Netherlands, but it's a subculture, and that's the culture I'm going with. I'm a Gabber, and I make hardcore. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Wow, definitely we need a part 2 for this. So much more that we can talk about. But yeah, so okay, I guess you're like probably rushing off to like do something before the show, and hopefully we can catch you soon next time.
Yeah, for
and we can have dinner or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay.